welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda and I'm here with my weekly reading vlog. As usual, I will just launch into the vlog and then come back at the end with some thoughts on the week and what I finished reading and what I'm currently reading now. First of all, this probably doesn't bug anybody else but me, but when I was editing the video clips I had so far last night, I couldn't put transitions between the two, so it's kind of choppy. I apologize. I'm sure no one cares except me, but there you go. So anyway, without further ado, here comes my choppy video vlog. Good morning. It is Saturday, July 22nd. I am about to turn on the recorded Japan-Zambia game. I don't know who won. I don't know if I'll have time to watch the whole thing before I have to leave for my thing, which I will take you along with. But if my husband comes down and gets a hold of remote control, we can watch the game in like 15 minutes because he just like forwards to like goals. But we'll see. You know, my near reading future kind of sort of and a little bit hinges on this game. All it means is whether or not my next ebook is one of my Japanese ebooks or not. So we'll see. Okay, I'm in downtown Beaverton, Oregon. Where are we going? We are going right over here to okay. Don't worry, I'm not getting you in here.
Are you doing this?
By not eating. Yes, I did.
My phone has been annoying lately.
Good evening. As you saw from my photos, I went to the Harry Potter tea at one of the tea houses in the town next to us. We do this, we go there, they have events throughout the year, so my friends and I, we go for Mad Hatter tea in the spring, Harry Potter tea in the summer, witching tea in the fall, and Dickens tea at Christmas. Oh, they have the best scones ever at this place. It's delicious. But yeah, so that's really fun. Then we plan that like as soon as we can, like months in advance because it sells out really quickly. So that's like a thing that is a tradition for us. And then after that, I came home. I did see that Zambia got creamed by Japan. So I will be listening to Convenience Store Woman as soon as I finish the Scarlet letter. And then I saw that Zambia's next game is against Spain, so I already have my Spanish book set up. It's a book of short stories. Yeah. So Zambia is my team until they're knocked out, which they're gonna be knocked out. And then whatever team knocks them out becomes my team. That's how that works, I think. I've been following around in the Discord to see exactly how that works, but there you go. So then after that, my husband and I saw that I told you I finally got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest out from the library. Well, he's like just scrolling through one of our streaming services and there was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So we ended up watching that finally. And it was interesting. I'm sorry, my arm is getting tired. You know, the book is better in a lot of ways. However, Jack Nicholson is amazing in it. And there's a lot of, as my husband said, there's a lot of famous people in this movie. And I said, no, there's a lot of people who became famous after this movie. So like Danny DeVito and Christopher Lloyd. So we had, you know, it was an interesting movie. It's well done. It was really fun to see my hometown. So that was cool. And soon I have to figure out exactly when we're going to do it. We're going to go down to Salem and we're going to go to the museum at the hospital. And they have a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest display and I will take you along for that. So yeah, that's my day. I'm going to try and put all of my footage from today together and do it as one video clip so it'll be easier to edit come Friday. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how this all turns out. Talk to you later. Hey ho, it is Monday, the 24th of July. I'm in my bedroom, it's a mess. I need to pick some stuff up, but I'm gonna read now. Anyway, yesterday I did not do a vlog because I was busy reading and watching soccer. But I finished 2 books. I finished The Red Garden by Alice Hoffman, which I gave an A. And I finished City Under One Roof by Iris Yamashita, which I gave a B+. I just want to talk really quickly about the ratings. So if you go to Goodreads, it's both going to look like I gave them 4 stars. I actually gave City Under One Roof 3.5, but you know, Goodreads doesn't do half stars. And I know that there's a tag going around about your rating system, and I'm really glad I haven't been tagged in that one, because it would be really hard for me to explain my rating system in that format. So the way I think about, as I say, I usually give my books a letter grade, like in school. And the way I think about it is, how well did they complete the assignment? So I'm going to take City Under One Roof. The assignment for City Under One Roof, in my mind, was to write something that was enjoyable and a page turner. That's what I was looking for in that book. And as far as did it achieve that, it got a B+ on it. There were a couple places where I thought it dragged. The assignment for The Red Garden was, I want atmospheric, an atmospheric book with the sort of feels that I am accustomed to from Alice Hoffman. And it got an A on that. That book's really kind of a collection of short stories, intertwined short stories. And there's always some that work better than the other. Honestly, that's probably why I got an A instead of an A+. But, but if you think about it, if I had given City Under One Roof an A, I think that that would have been like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is like a fantastic book. Whereas a B+ is like, I enjoyed this. That was great. And move on. A B+ is not bad. But if I had given The Red Garden a B+ instead of an A, to me, that would have signified that there was something deficient with it, which it doesn't with an A. So ratings are so hard. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm going to start 2 new books today. I'm going to start the next Ruth Galloway book. That's a fun book. And then I'm going to start, this is from one of my book clubs, The Wide Sargasso Sea, which I have never read, even though Jane Eyre is one of my favorite books. So yeah, these are what I'm starting now. So I'm going to, I'm going to get to reading. The light's a little nice in here because I have the window open and the shades up because it's actually not blisteringly hot today, which is a change. So I'm going to read for a bit. Here we go.
Hello, my sweet girl. Are you going to let me, are you going to move so I can like go to bed? Yeah. You're going to let me go to bed? No? Okay, we're going to have a battle tonight, aren't we? Okay.
Hello, I just picked up my book from the library. Oh, I'm sorry. Today is like, it's Wednesday, whatever day, 26th, something like that. I got my hair done, which kind of looks like a mess right now because the air conditioner's going. And I drove by the library to pick up a hold. Not the most gorgeous hold because it's an interlibrary loan. But I wanted to talk about this book. This comes from the Walla Walla University in Washington. This is Let the Hurricane Roar by Rose Wilder Lane. She is the daughter of Laura and Alonzo Wilder. And I am listening to the podcast. No, let me go back. I read all the Little House books when I was a kid, and then I read them to my kids. I had a bookish slice of life moment, which I will put a card up for that, I guess, or something. It'll be down below or up above about that. Something that happened in those books. But I'm listening to the Wilder podcast. I highly recommend this podcast. Definitely if you read the Little House on the Prairie books. But even if you're just a reader, I recommend this book because it talks a lot about like looking at books that have issues. If you've read the Little House on the Prairie books as an adult, because you might not pick up on them as a kid, but as an adult, those books are riddled with issues. This podcast does a really good job of processing that. And so if you listen to the Little House or you've read the Little House books, it makes a lot of sense. But even if you haven't, I think it's just a really great thought process about literature and not historical fiction, but literature from the past. So I would highly recommend, if you're a podcast person and you're a reader, listen to Wilder. It's on the iHeartRadio network. It's got a covered wagon on its little, you can't miss it, little covered wagon on it icon. Oh, this woman's giving me a dirty look. Too bad. Anyway, so this book, Let the Hurricane Roar, was, I knew about the existence of this book, but I didn't actually know what happened with it. So, Rose Wilder Lane was a bit of a, I don't know. She had no qualms about stealing from her parents to write her own books. So this book is about Charles and Caroline, who like go to Walnut Grove, Minnesota, and they live in a dugout, and there's like a locust infestation, which is basically on the banks of Plum Creek. Apparently, Rose Wilder Lane and Laura Ingalls Wilder had such a fallout over this book. Laura Ingalls was so insulted or so angry about the publication of this book for reasons, and there's questions about what those reasons are, but she was so she was so mad about it, I shouldn't say insulted, mad about it, they quit talking to each other, and it almost got to the point where the Little House books came to a stop because they wouldn't speak to each other. So I'm really interested just to see what's in this book. Again, not a very pretty, let the hurricanes roar. There apparently is like some kind of illustration on the front, but I'm supposed to leave the sleeve on, and I'm afraid if I take it off, I won't get it back on. So anyway, I'll probably just kind of read this slowly. I have to look and see how long I have this for. It's not super long, and I think it'll be a pretty quick read. I did not stop by our library's used bookstore because it was not there. Our county fair is going on right now, and they are at the county fair. So they took all the books out and they're over there, and I don't think I'm going to go to the county fair because it's hot. So I'll just wait till they come back. Anyway, I don't need more books anyway. I just bought a bunch of books from Blackwell's yesterday. Anyway, okay, I gotta go home and like see what my kids, make sure they haven't burnt the house down. So the morning of Thursday, July 27th, take 2. So I filmed this, and while I was filming it, my cat Alice, who has a well-earned reputation of being aggressive, decided to be aggressively affectionate and came over and knocked over the podium or the tripod and all that, and it was just a mess. So that got to, and half of it didn't even get recorded. So that all got deleted, and we're gonna start this over. So again, it is Thursday morning. I was doing a video for something else, so I thought I would do a vlog really quickly. 3 things I wanted to talk about. First, no, actually 2 things, but one has 2 parts. The first part is I have come to terms with 2 things about my bookish lifestyle. The first is I am a proud book polygamist. I currently have, I think, 7 books going. I don't feel especially overwhelmed by that, and I'm okay with that. I have 7 books going, and that's great. And you know what? If you're a person who only reads 1 book at a time, more power to you. You found what works for you. Oh, here she comes again. Hi, Alice. Hi. Yes, I know, but I'm fine with having a lot of books going, and I'm not going to apologize about that anymore. I always have a couple main ones, and since, oh, she's rubbing the tripod. Oh. It's okay. You do not have to be in the middle of everything. So I'm going to just like accept the fact I'm a book polygamist. I am never going to be a person who just reads 1 book at a time. I am probably not ever going to be a person who just reads 3 books at a time, which I always say is my ideal number because it's 1 print, 1 ebook, 1 audiobook. I'm not that person. That is okay. The other thing that I have come to terms with is I am someone, let me see if I can turn this to get her face in it. Hi. Yeah. You don't like being on camera, do you? Well, too bad if you're going to sit right here. I am someone who owns a lot of books that I haven't read yet, and that's okay. You know, I stress about it. I've done a video, you know what, if I remember, I'll either put a card or a link down below where I came to Jesus about how many books I own that I haven't read, how many print books I own that I haven't read, and it's scary. And I'm okay with it. I'm not scared by that number anymore. I was feeling very out of control with it when I made that video, and I had goals to lower that number and the way I was going to do it. Totally failing at those goals right now, but you know what? I'm okay with it because I'm not feeling out of control with it right now. I have found a way that works for me to kind of manage it. I'm keeping an eye on it. You know, I have to keep an eye on it for no other reason that I don't want to, and I have done this, buy books I already own. So, yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm going to be someone who has a large owned TBR, and I'm fine with it. I'm going to keep tabs on it for the rest of this year because I did say that was going to be one of my goals. I am just going to keep tabs on it. I recognize right now I am not going to make that goal, but I'm going to keep tabs on it because I committed to that. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with having books that I haven't read yet. Because it's, who knows? Who knows? We might get hit with another pandemic and the library closes, and so I have to read what I own. And I don't want to run out of anything. Who knows? And I like having a lot of books in my house. Yes, sweetie girl. And I like knowing that I have options. And I'm okay with it. I've gotten to a point where I'm okay with it. And I do think it is because I figured out a way to manage it. As I said before, I wasn't managing it. Third thing, which is unrelated to that, in my last vlog, which was from the library, I talked about picking up Let the Hurricane Roar, which I still can't take the cover off, even though I know there's some kind of like, there's some kind of illustration on here I want to see, and I can't get the stupid sleeve off. And if I do get it off, I'm afraid I can't get it back on. So I have decided to do a reading vlog of that book. I've never done like a reading vlog of just like one title, but I am doing it for this one because I'm reading it for a different reason than I normally read. Well, I shouldn't say different, but I am reading it for a specific reason. I'm not reading it for enjoyment. I'm not reading it for any kind of booktube event or challenge, but I'm reading it to find something out. And that is why that book caused such a rift between Laura Ingalls Wilder and her daughter Rose Wilder Lane that they did not speak to each other for a period of time. So that vlog, this book is not long, it's 153 pages. That vlog will be coming out at some point in the future, so keep an eye out for it. And finally, because apparently this has come clean and make excuses and own up to things, you guys don't need to know this, but I feel like I need to say it. I'm not wearing my glasses. I should be wearing my glasses full time. My eye doctor got on me about wearing my glasses full time. The reason I can go without wearing my glasses is because I can actually see pretty well without my glasses. The issue is not that I can't see. The issue is that the delta between the prescription of each eye is very large. And so when I'm doing detailed work or close up, not a big deal when I'm looking out. But if I'm like reading or something, and I do always wear my reading glasses when I'm reading, but if I'm reading or doing anything kind of close up, because one eye is so much weaker than the other, it puts, oh, she's gonna, don't do that, don't knock that over. It puts stress on one eye. So that's why I'm supposed to be wearing my glasses. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to crack my knuckles there. Oh, what is she chewing? Don't chew on that. No, don't chew on that. Oh man, she's a troublemaker sometimes. It's just good thing she's cute. So it does get a little discombobulating sometimes to wear those glasses. So I'm working up to wearing them full time. And I'm doing something today, which I will take you along with, that for reasons that probably may not be evidence, I'll discuss them more tomorrow, wearing my glasses is not going to be feasible. So tomorrow I will go back to wearing my glasses full time. Or at least go back to working up to wearing them full time. But today I'm taking a break. So anyway, enough babbling. I was able to get through this and record the whole thing and not have the cat knock over the tripod. So that is an accomplishment. And I am not going to press my luck. So I'll talk to you later. I had to hoof it down to the train because the fair, they close off the parking lot so people don't park here for the fair. And I think, oh, sorry, train might be on its way. I'm not sure, but I'm heading down to downtown Portland. I do not have any book with me because I had to put some little binoculars in my purse, and the e-reader wouldn't fit, but I have just enough time left in the Scarlet letter, so I'm gonna listen to that on the way down. So we'll check in when I get to where I'm having dinner.
Haven't seen him in a while.
I believe it's her, to tell you the truth. Melody is the name.
Walking to where I'm meeting my friends. Lovely Portland, Oregon. I just had a very terrible train. It wasn't terrible for me, it was just terrible to witness, like a train experience. I'll talk about it later. But I wanted to share this here, like kind of walking around. This complex right here is Portland's World Trade Center. And I used to work here. I used to work that building kind of over there. I haven't worked there for 15 years. Honest to God, I still have nightmares about that job. So it's not with the why that says A, whatever. I used to go into that fountain. And this is called the Keller Auditorium, and I'm currently in the wrong area. What am I seeing? Well, I'm not seeing Les Mis, but I might be going to see Les Mis. That's coming. See? 6. So yes, I went to see 6 tonight with 2 of my friends. I took some footage and it all was crap, so I just deleted it off my phone. You'll see what turned out okay, you've seen, but anything, I tried to take some pictures like kind of in the theater, not during the show obviously, but like before, and looks like crap, so it went away. Anyway, I loved it. It was a lot of fun. My degree, as I've said before, is in British medieval history, so 6 is right up my alley in subject matter, not music. I mean, not that I didn't like the music, but it's not Tudor music. But it was a lot of fun. If you ever get a chance to see it, I highly recommend it. It's actually, as far as shows go, pretty short. It's less than an hour and a half without an intermission. So, but it's high energy the whole time. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that was kind of a bummer, which had nothing to do with the show, was that because we don't have season tickets, we had to like kind of get tickets after it opened to everybody, and we couldn't get good 3, I went with 2 other friends, and we couldn't get 3 good seats together. So we just got the 3 best single seats we could get. So we didn't get to sit together, but my husband drove down to Portland to pick me up because, as I've said before, I have eye issues and I don't drive. I don't feel safe driving at night anymore. So he came down to pick me up. I did take the Max down, as you saw. And there were a couple incidents on the Max, which made me very happy that I was not taking the Max back home. One was a transphobic incident. Nothing violent. There was no physical violence, although that one was very close to it. One of the parties got kicked off at one point. Just the conductor came out and just kicked him off. But I think that it would have, had he not done that, it would have gotten into violence. And the other one, I'm not even sure what happened, but it was some guy didn't like some other guy talking to his daughter, and that got messy. And I was like, this is not Portland. This is not, I've never had an incident like this like Portland. But I like showing a video of Portland because Portland has a really bad reputation right now. Because certain news outlets, I'll let you guess which ones, like to paint Portland as this sort of anarchist deathscape, which it isn't. It is not. It's a beautiful city. Yeah, there's homeless. There's no more homeless in Portland than there are in other cities. I mean, this is not Portland only issue, but it's a beautiful city. And even when in the summer of 2020, when there were the violent riots and the former administration sent law enforcement against the peaceful protesters, even that got blown out. That was like one city block out of the entire city, and the whole city got painted as being violent, and that's not true. But anyway, I had a wonderful evening. We ate at Morton's. Oh my goodness, like that was good. It was expensive, but it was good. And so now I don't need to eat for a while. Anyway, I'm gonna go get my makeup off and get into something more comfortable and see if I can upload these videos so I can put this vlog together tomorrow. One thing I forgot to mention when I saw 6, the actress who played Jane Seymour in the production we saw was the original actress to play her in London, which I think is very cool. Also, on some of my earlier videos, you hear this kind of weird tap, like that. Just so you know, that's my iPhone case. It has a little like hook thing on the back, and it was clicking as I was walking. I felt like I needed to explain that. Anyway, okay, now I'm gonna go take my makeup off. Welcome back. So today is Friday, the 28th of July. One thing that I noticed in that video, I forgot to explain because I said I would, was why I couldn't wear my glasses yesterday when I went to the theater. It's because I couldn't really use my glasses and my theater binoculars at the same time. And our seats are far enough back that I knew I'd be using my theater binoculars for a long time. So, and then on the train and stuff, I had my sunglasses, which are prescription. So I had my glasses then. Anyway, I know you all wanted to know that, but I don't know. I feel like I have to justify myself for not wearing my glasses. Maybe it's because I got kind of chewed out at the eye doctor last time. Oh, well. Anyway, another thing I wanted to say, I've been saying for a couple weeks, I'm really behind in watching videos. And I was actually getting really close to being caught up. And then earlier this week, I think it was Wednesday, Xfinity was doing upgrading. So they shut down the internet for the day in our area. And now I'm behind again. So I'm doing my best, guys. So, but if you get like really weird old comments from me, that's what that is. So anyway, that was my week. I think next week's gonna be a calmer week. But one thing I do need to get under control is this getting out of bed at 8:30 crap. Yeah, that happened again today. Of course, I was up until 1 in the morning reading last night. So today I am not drinking coffee. If you saw, I think it was last week's vlog, that's not a good thing for me, but I'm doing it so that I will be able to go to sleep earlier tonight, and I need to start working myself into school mode. So my goal this week is in bed by 11, lights off by midnight, and then I'll like scooch it earlier as we go along. I know you guys all want to know that, but that's what's going on in my life. But let me talk about what I finished this week and what I am currently or about to be reading. And I need to adjust this just a bit. Sorry, y'all. There you go. Okay, so I finished 5 books this week. Some of these I've been reading for a while. One of them I'd been reading for a while. So the first one I finished was The Red Garden by Alice Hoffman. This is kind of a novel of interconnected short stories about a town starting in the, I think, 18th century, maybe 18th or 17th century, going up almost to current day. I read this because I have been told that this book plays at least some little part in Alice Hoffman's new book, which is coming out in August, called The Invisible Hour. So I kind of read it in prep with that, and I enjoyed it. I gave it an A, so 4 stars, which is pretty much what I always give books that are short story collections. You know, some of the sections are better than others. It's just the way it is. The next book I read was City Under One Roof. So this was a like mystery thriller that was, well, I'd seen it around, but it was Angelia who kind of convinced me to read it. But it's got kind of a bonkers premise. So the premise is that there is this town in Alaska that during the part of the year, so the winter, it's really only accessible through this tunnel. And if the tunnel gets blocked up, the town is inaccessible. And everybody in this town lives in one building. It's just really weird. And then there's like body parts that show up. So it's like just bonkers enough that I was like willing to believe just about anything, which was good because this is kind of a book where you have to suspend your disbelief. I wasn't expecting literature. This is not a literary thriller or a literary mystery, but it was fun. And it kept me turning the pages. It is apparently the first in a series. I looked when I was entering my information in a spreadsheet and looking up on Goodreads, I saw that the next book, whose title I cannot remember, but that is coming out in 2024. I don't know how she's going to equal the bonkers premise of everybody living in one building, but we'll see. And the next book I read is one that has been on my TBR. I kid you not, since college. I don't own this book. It's from one of my book clubs, and it is White Sargasso Sea by Rhys. And if you don't know this book, it is the story of a character who in Jane Eyre is referred to as Bertha Mason. That's not her name, at least according to White Sargasso Sea. And so I've always been wanting, and I just never did. And then it became a book club selection, so I had to read it. And I enjoyed it. I thought it had some really interesting things to say. I could believe the journey of this character from where we meet her at the beginning to her being the mad woman in the attic. My biggest issue with this book was a little structural thing, which was in the 3rd section. So the bulk of the book, maybe like half the book. You're switching character viewpoints, and you're doing it like in sections and sections because there's not really chapters in this book. Sections and sections. And there were many, many times where I wasn't immediately clear who our viewpoint character was. So I'd have to like go back and like, who is this? Who is speaking? What is going on here to try and figure it out? I found that really confusing. That was just a structural thing. And it's too bad because I really like the book otherwise. I think I gave that, let me check and see. I think I gave that an A though, because I mean, it was good for what it, other than that. And I gave it a B+, probably because of the structural thing. And then the next book I finished, which I've been listening to for a long time, and it is a reread. So this got a 5 star. And as you know, like I don't give 5 stars a lot. It's very, very rare. So while this did get a 5-star, I'm not counting it as a 5-star because that was my original rating of this book and I chose not to change it. This came into my reading this time as a 5-star. So I still have only given 2 5-stars this year. But that is The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I did listen to it this time, which if you have never read The Scarlet Letter, I know people hate this book and it just breaks my heart because it's a great book. Tips. 1, skip the customs house. That's a section at the beginning, which is kind of this long essay about how fictional Nathaniel Hawthorne found the Scarlet Letter. Not important. Skip it. 2, do it on audio. I did this on audio. The audio wasn't complete. I mean, the audio of everything but the customs house was excellent. This was the Duke Classics edition. There was the customs house part included, and my issue with that was the guy who was narrating it. So a woman narrates the book proper, but the guy who narrated the customs house sounded like Sheldon Cooper and it was very distracting. So skip the customs house. But audio is a great way to do it. A lot of people who read it with the Book Cougars did the Cliff Notes with it. That's not, read a chapter, read the Cliff Notes of the chapter. Read a chapter, read the Cliff Notes of the chapter. Read it. Now for me, what I do, so I've reread this book countless times. I love this book. But every time I read it, I look for something different or I pay attention to something different or I try to read it differently. And this time I decided to read it as if it were a horror novel. And this was probably my most successful outing. And it's a 5-star, so I mean, that's great. I've always had successful outings with it, but this was the most interesting because this book it's called The Scarlet Letter, a romance, but it's a horror novel. It's got creepy kids and supernatural. Read it that way, and I think it's an easier pill to swallow if you are not a fan. So anyway, that's my tip on The Scarlet Letter. But I finished that. I finished that yesterday, as you saw on the train down to Portland, and I did have to listen through 2 incidences on the train, listening to it. It was awful. And then last night / this morning, like 1 a.m. this morning, I finished The Lantern Men, or Lantern, is it Lantern Men or Lantern Man? I'll have to double check that one, which is the 12th Ruth Galloway book. I'm going to be honest, this is probably my least favorite book of the series for a couple reasons. One is, there's 2 big reasons why it's my least favorite. And this is, the first one is, this is the second time I've seen this in Ruth Galloway books. She fundamentally changes all of a sudden the sort of formula. I saw this very starkly in Bleeding Heartyard, which is the 3rd Harbinger Carr book. She had something going with the first 2 books where she's in Brighton and she has this like group of quirky characters, and then all of a sudden she's in London and you're like, what happened? And this is too bad because if you have not read the first 2 books, Bleeding Heartyard is probably a great book, but if you've read the first 2 books, you're just wondering, well, what's going on here? So in this one, I don't want to go into what because it's a little spoilery if I tell you what happened, but the setup has changed in a certain way. Also, clearly, I'm reading this kind of now, but if I had been reading them as they came out, I probably would have noticed. I think that there's a couple years difference between book 11 and book 12. In the books, there's like 2 years difference, and that was very disconcerting to have that happen. Because I felt like stuff happened there that I should know about, and it didn't. So that was unfortunate. Yeah, and the other issue I have with this, again, I have to speak very vaguely, is there is a big overarching plot. And this plot is tricky because it could be soap opera-y, and there's things about it that I generally don't like in books, but this deals with it. And up until this book, they've dealt with it well. I don't want to say they dealt with it badly. Elly Griffiths dealt with it badly this time. But this is the first time it really felt like it was treading water. And I'm like, you got to do something. Now, there are 15 books in the series. The series is finished for now, according to Elly Griffiths. So something is going to happen in the next 3 books. And this is not a spoiler, but not the next book, but the book after that. So the penultimate book, I do know is a lockdown book, a pandemic book. So it's called The Locked Room. Everyone's locked down. So something's got to happen then. So we'll see. This could just be like a plateau. I don't know, but it just was a little frustrating to me. I think once I finish the series, I'm going to do a kind of a lightly spoilery kind of look back at the entire series. Keep an eye out for that. If you have read the series, great, watch it. I won't spoil individual mysteries in it, but I'll do the overarching plot. And if you don't care about that and you just don't want the mysteries solved, that's fine. Do that. You can watch that. Whatever. It's down the road. I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, that was at 1 a.m. this morning. I finished it. So what I am currently and or will be starting to read today. So in print, I have The Old Drift. This book will be finished by next week. In fact, I am going to make it my priority reading for this weekend. I don't, if you can tell this, I don't have much more to go in this. It is starting to get a little bit science fiction-y. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm reading that for my Women World Cup readathon. My country is Zambia. They aren't doing well in the World Cup. I'll get to that in a moment. And then I am reading, I've talked about this earlier in it, but I have the Where the Hurricanes Roar by Rose Wilder Lane. And I'm not reading this one, but I had my daughter pull it out so I could kind of refer to it while I read this on the banks of Plum Creek, because this is the one that is really similar to this one. So I have those and I am documenting my journey with that in a separate reading vlog. And then I still have my next book club book, which is Disability Visibility, which I'm just picking up, reading an essay, putting it down, picking it up, reading an essay, putting it down. So I'm halfway-ish through. At this point, I think I need to read 2 essays a day to be finished in time for book club, so it's fine. And then this is the book that I'm starting today, The Maiden by Kate Foster. I have absolutely no clue what this book is about. I bought it because it was highly recommended in an interview I heard with Janice Hallett, who wrote The Appeal, The Twyford Code, The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels, and I really like her books. So I thought, oh, I'm definitely going to read this. Also, beautiful cover. So on my thing, I can use this for judged by its cover. But other than that, I don't know what this book's about, and I'm intentionally going in blind with it. So then, an ebook, I'm still listening to Learned by Heart, which is a NetGalley. It's Emma Donoghue's new book, and it's good. I'm just reading it slowly because I don't have to have a review or anything out to it until the end of this month, so doing it slowly. And then today, I'm going to start The Last Ranger by Peter Heller. I've never read Peter Heller before, but I've heard good things about him and I've meant to read him. And this is his new release. It is a mystery, and the detective person who's not a detective. He's not a detective, but he plays a detective role, I understand, is a National Park Ranger, and it takes place in Yellowstone, which I love Yellowstone. So that will be really fun. So I'm going to be starting that today. And then on audio, back to the Women's World Cup, because in the first round, Zambia lost to Japan. I have to read something by Japan, so I am going to read Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. I'm going to listen to it on audio. And that's not a super long audio, so that's fine. And then I do have to do a Spanish work because then Zambia lost to Spain. And so I have a book. I have it on hold at the library. It's come in, but it came in, of course, like 2 hours after I picked up my last hold at the library. So it's going to be there till next week. And then Zambia has one more game in the first round, the round robin round, and that is against Costa Rica. And they might win this one. They have a chance to win this one, which will be good because I need to have a little break in that. I don't think they're making it to the next round. So Zambia stays my country until they're knocked out. Even if they lose to Costa Rica, I'm assuming Costa Rica, but if Costa Rica's not making it either, because I don't think either Zambia or Costa Rica are going to make it to the next round. I don't know who my next country is going to be. So I have to pay attention in the Discord and see who my next country is supposed to be, because I'm not quite clear on that. Like, what do you mean by knocking them out? Especially if the person the team they lose to most recently doesn't make it, because then they didn't I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. But I think that Zambia and I will be parting ways very soon. Anyway, that is my week. I know I have kind of a longish video section. I didn't want to make this part too long. So I'm going to end it here. And yeah, next week I will be back with, I'm hoping to have my July, that's not month we're in, wrap up. Like, I'm hoping to do it on July 31st so I can post it on August 1st. We'll see how that happens. I usually post Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Next week, it might be Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. It depends on how well I get that that July wrap up done. And then Thursday I have a book review going up. And then Saturday I'll be back with another vlog. So there you go. If you made it through this video, congratulations, you're wonderful. Give me a little, your favorite animal emoji in there so I know that you made it through to the end. If you want, you don't have to do that. I'm just curious. Give me a thumbs up on this video. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It helps me a lot. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video.